Coming up on The Gates, we'll take a look at what's new at the St. Charles Riverwalk Market. And Lydia Allen, a local St. Charles baker, joins the show. We'll discuss her love of baking and why she decided to open her own business. Welcome to The Gate. I'm Parker Killian. Saturdays down on Main Street in St. Charles, you can find booths with a variety of goods such as locally grown fruits and vegetables, honey, baked goods, arts and crafts, and more. These vendors are part of the Riverwalk Market, a local farmers market style event that has even more to offer than just produce. We checked out the event and talked to the leaders at the Lions Club that help organize the markets.
We're going to move the market from just a local small into something that was much, much bigger. And in the last 2 years, we basically have grown this over twice the size of what it was 3 years ago. So if you haven't been down here recently in the last few years, you ought to come down and take a look. There's something for everybody.
The Riverwalk Market has grown to over 70 vendors. This year, they have added more prepared food stalls and several crafting tents for friends and family to enjoy.
If you can make it, bake it, or grow it, you're good to come to our markets.
The Riverwalk Market runs every year from April 20th to November 16th, so there's still time to check it out before it's over for the season. Coming up after the break, David Cruz will talk with Lydia Allen, owner and founder of Sugar and Slice Bakery.
When it comes to something as important as a job in broadcasting or in job, whatever you're searching for, Lindenwood puts that emphasis in you rather than just the education. So take advantage of it and be like a ton of alum that walked out of Lindenwood that were proud to be a Lion.
I'm David Cruz, and today I'm sitting down with Lydia Allen, owner of Sugar and Spice Bakery. Hi, Lydia.
Hi.
Thank you for being here.
Of course.
So, when did you start baking?
I started when I was 14 years old, and I just started decorating cakes and taught myself how to do a lot beyond that, and I just liked learning and going from there. Yeah.
So, when did that love for baking transition into more of a business?
Probably 2 years in. I was pretty young. I sold my first cake when I was 15, and I always learned how to bake from my mom, so I had like that background of cake decorating, of baking, but then I learned more cake decorating after. I sold my first cake when I was 15 years old, and then turned into a licensed business when I was 17.
So you just said a lot of your love for baking comes from how you did it with your mother. So how does it feel to have your mother now working for your business?
It has its ups and downs, to say the least, but I couldn't do it without her. She's definitely the creative person, and with me, we can collaborate and make great ideas, but it keeps me level-headed most of the time. We do have our days where things are a little more difficult when you work with your mom 40 hours a week, but I don't think I know I couldn't do it without her. It's fun because I get to live a different journey with my mom than most people do.
So what is your favorite thing that you bake?
I love making cakes. So my favorite thing to bake and eat is chocolate cake. Our chocolate cake is the best, so good. And so I will bake that and eat all the scraps every day. It's so yummy.
So how long does it usually take you to decorate, go through the whole design process if someone wants a custom cake? Because I know you do that.
Yeah, so how we work right now is we have an event coordinator that manages all our orders, so she talks with the customer, gets what they want, and sometimes that'll be really quick, and sometimes people are very detailed, and then we bake the cake. Baking the cake, I usually spend 5 hours once a week baking all of our cakes, and then my decorators and I usually put about at least 2 hours into a standard cake. So at the end of the day, there's about 5 to 7 hours put into a custom cake.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a long time. That's why they're so expensive, because there's a lot that goes into them. Well, because you're customizing it to exactly what somebody wants. So it takes a little bit of love, we say, a lot of love to make it what it needs to be.
All right, so going from your custom orders for a second, what was just the most popular general thing at Solar Sugar and Spice?
I say we have a few things. We sell so many things, but out of everything that we sell, probably our cinnamon rolls and our scones are really popular. Those are two of my mom's recipes. Actually, the scones is my nanny's recipe. And then my mom did all the cinnamon rolls. And then we also sell a ton of our macarons. Macarons are something that I didn't learn how to make until 2 months before opening the bakery, and they're very, very hard to make. And now we probably sell about 1,000 of those a week. They're very yummy, but very hard to make.
All right, and I have to ask you this. How do you feel about people that pronounce it macaroons?
Well, I love to teach everybody about it because a macaroon is a coconut and chocolate. It's like the ones that are like big mounds, and you just bake those. But a macaron is like, think of a Krabby Patty. Like that's what it looks like. It's 2 colored shells with filling in the middle. So 1-0 is the macaron.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so going more to the business side, is there a reason you decided to open up your first like physical location that wasn't your house on Main Street?
No, it kind of just happened. I was 21 and I hated my job. And I said, if I ever hate what I do, I either need to change it or quit and find something new. And I didn't have a backup plan. I didn't go to college. So like I didn't have a backup plan. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna go look at some buildings. And so my friend picked me up and we drove around for a few hours, looked at places. And I found one for rent, which is actually a restaurant across the street. And I looked and it was way bigger than what I needed. And I was like, yeah, no, I can't do that. And she told me a space across the street was gonna be available. I waited a year and I saw that it was vacant and I called her and I was able to look at it and we got everything renovated in 4 months and we opened. I mean, I didn't expect to be in like an old house to be baking out of, but it ended up working out pretty perfectly because the location has been wonderful to start a business on.
Yeah, so like you said, it was an old house. So like how was like the designing of like the actual layout?
Yeah.
How did that actually go?
It's hard with these old buildings because there's a lot of times like you have one room, then they added another room, then they added another room. So there's a lot of like weird areas you have to work with. So I actually walked in and saw exactly what I wanted it to look like and we made it happen. And we have made a lot of changes over the last 5 years in there, but like we were able to turn the back 2 rooms into a kitchen and then the front is like a counter with like coffees and everything. COVID did change like our seating. We used to have parties and we had seats and then nobody used them after. So we just turned them into things that now it's storage, unfortunately, but yeah.
All right, and so you have a discount for Lindenwood students.
We do.
Why did you decide to make this decision?
Well, being so close to Lindenwood was something that's like really fun, and I always think it's like I want my place to be a place for people to come and get something and be able to sit on our patio and like study and hang out. And I also started employing a lot of Lindenwood students pretty much a year after I opened, and I just realized like they might come here more if they have the discount. You know, I just thought they'd start liking it and it kind of caught on. And I really think people don't know a lot about it actually, but I like offering it because I mean, we all want good stuff, but everything's expensive and on a college budget, you know, at least I can help a little bit.
All right, well, thank you very much for coming here today, Lydia. If you would like to try some of the sweet treats that Sugar and Spice has to offer, you can go down to historic Main Street to their location. And thank you all for watching, and we will see you next week.